bitches? What's up? Wake up.
Down to the Phoenix!
What's up, bitches? What's up? Wake up. It's the morning time.
What's up, everybody?
What is
How are
up,
we
Tom?
doing?
Dude, 500 episodes.
It's really crazy.
I didn't make any new assets to celebrate it.
Dude, you know what I was thinking about as we were like running the theme? I was like, dude, I have like confetti cannons in my garage. I should just like busted one out and just popped it off in the office and then dealt with how my office mate Scott would have translated to that when he came in a couple hours. Morning, Blaze.
Yeah, we have balloons, we have a tank of helium. I could have been more celebratory about this for sure.
Yeah. Morning, Plush. Morning, Ron.
And on the other
Morning,
hand,
David.
on the other hand,
Fiallo's in here.
we're
Everybody's in here.
only halfway to 1,000.
Yeah. That we'll work on that. Everybody's here. What's up, MP? How's everyone doing? Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it snuck up on us. Do we actually pay attention to the numbers and the counting and no. Like, so it just is what it is. 1% a day. We'll make it to 1,000. Yeah, for sure. Good morning, Dylan.
I'd assume that
Love it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan did make a handful of new assets that he might.
That's why he's not. That's why he's not on right now. He's in the background doing that for his show. Because the afternoon show made it to 500 too, guys.
Yeah.
I think just for the ease.
Afternoon show is not a +1. Afternoon show counts as today's episode as well.
Yeah, we just number them the same.
Yeah. So yeah, we're here.
He is. Good morning, Ryan.
We're gonna treat this as another day on this little morning adventure. Good morning, Ryan. Ryan matters.
You do matter.
You always matter,
Oh,
Ryan.
so much more.
Ryan.
So much more than you know, sir.
A little bit of grats to Ryan. He started all this up for us, invited us all on. And then now we have all these awesome friends that check in every morning. And also a bunch of friends that check in around the internet. If you're here with us and been with us, thanks for sticking with us. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Big shout out to Ryan Turner and Blaze starting this 500 episodes ago or so, give or take. Like, we've made some errors. We could be at 525 the way I was looking at the counting in the past. But thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, gentlemen. It's been an amazing ride and journey, like starting in the audience, watching the guys jumping on in the morning from my car in the dark, just wondering if some person was going to come tap on my window and be like, what the heck are you doing? To then being the regular host and doing shows alone. Like, I think I've told you guys a million times, this was nerve-wracking for me coming up here in the first time. And then it was really nervous doing the show alone. I've had so much help in the audience. So all of you guys that have been there the whole time, like, I appreciate you hanging out. Busy day, I already argue with Mosher. And Ryan does matter. So yeah, thank you, everybody.
All Ryans matter. Yeah, that was one thing. I did give a little bit of thought to, some of our standout moments.
Hopefully.
My first episode was when Ryan tried to do a little bait and switch with me with Blaze and asked me to act him.
Morning, Anthony.
I don't know if it worked. I do remember the first episode that I was alone.
I think you have too much hair.
I may have had too much. Yeah, probably had too much hair then. But yeah, I remember that first episode where I don't even know what I talked about. I think I just mumbled through the entire thing. But I did make it 3 minutes. And I still even on the the off chance, the once in a whiles where I am alone, I have a hard time just talking to a screen, which seems like you have learned to handle very smoothly.
It's the chat. I'm really good at paying attention to the chat. Like if you guys can see that my eyes aren't looking at the camera, they're looking at the chat more than anything. So it's always been the chat that helps me out.
Yeah. I need to do that more, is to check in with that. I think that's my fix for that.
What's funny, I was going to bring up what you just said about the 30 minutes is when you're in the audience side. And I know like I was one of the proponents, and then I know Scuba Steve does this too, but like thinking that like 30 minutes is like way too short, like way too short when you're on the audience side. It's like, why is this just 30 minutes? Who is this Ryan Turner? Like I used to think this all the time. Like, who's this Ryan Turner guy that just wants to talk for 30 minutes and then go on and have clients? Like, why would he even book a client at 6 a.m. my time? Didn't make any sense. But then when you're up here on this side and you're talking alone for 30 minutes, you're like looking at the timer. You're like, okay, 28, 50 seconds. I got 2 more minutes in me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. We're already almost 10 minutes in. And yeah, that still hasn't soaked in. I would say my big takeaway from all this is it's like, you got a little page to read. And my ability to like connect it to everything else that happens in my life. I would say that's my big takeaway from all this for sure. Turner, the Turner brother dad episode for sure. That's definitely my top. Our chat with Ben was awesome. Yeah. That was like our first like long form, I think like 2-hour episode. That's in my head. We had Kristen on talking about finances. That was a cool episode. I enjoyed having her on. And then I had my very awesome and good friends, Zach and Jules, on. Those are my standout episodes for sure.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I too enjoyed the Turner. I said that yesterday. The All Turner show was really cool. I've really enjoyed your presence here, especially as you connect your outside world, because I think I've mentioned like my whole thing on here is like I'm still on the fence and a little concerned with like sprinkling in my V friends, my Twitter life, my V dad's life with my outside world life. So I've told a couple people, but I've never, shared a show. I think at most you and Ryan have tagged me on Facebook, but nothing's came from that. Like no one said, "Oh, I watched this thing you were doing," and da 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 da. So I'm still timid about that part of this, but I love seeing your friends and family and coaches and students is awesome. Like that blows my mind when you've mentioned that your students watch it. Your parents, like your mom being in here. Shout out Mama Turner. I hope she's having a great time on her trip. I can't wait we should have her and dad on afterwards, and they can give us the rundown on, was it 90 days?
93 days. She tried, so like she's in and out of contact.
Yeah.
She tried to video call from, where is she at now? She sent a picture from where is she here? Pongo, American Samoa.
Oh, Nice.
That's where she's at right now, and it
Oh,
looks
cool.
warm and moist. So she's
What's
with her little cruise crew that they kind of meet
That's
up
so cool.
every time they do this. So, Mom, if you're listening, I'm glad you're having a good time.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, I do. You know, I do. I don't actively share out, but it's like, it's visible. I'll have friends once in a while, ask about it and say, hey, what's this thing you're doing in the morning? And it's like, yeah, just a little bit of a focused attention time on all the things that fill up our time, and all the little humans and big humans.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was gonna say the other big thing for me here, the big connection point is like I've said before, like almost like a little therapy call, a little parent or a little parent chat here where, we can come together and we can basically say just about anything. And someone here, even if it's just you and me, but someone here in the chat usually is able to relate to that. And it just I for me, and that's kind of a little bit what happened in the V Friends community too, is like it just makes me feel like not alone, a little bit more seen, a little bit like people are so forthright with their information of like, oh, I'm having a hard time with my kids. And they're like, yeah. And it doesn't feel very like comparison game to me. Like, oh yeah, you're having a hard time. Well, I'm at, like Bukes didn't come up here and say like, oh, you think it's hard with 3 kids? I have 6 kids. Like it was great. And good
yeah,
morning, Bukes.
I
I know you're out there
appreciated.
somewhere.
I did appreciate his episode too, because he was, he showed us what, he runs his own shop with, which I assume takes up a lot of mental energy, and then he goes home and slips right into dad mode with 6 kids. And I'm like, it doesn't make me feel less, but it's like that is an awesome amount of capacity for all the things that you care about.
Mhm.
And I would love to hear more stories like that from people.
Yeah. More and more and more. That's I think those have been the best episodes for me too. I mean, there's definitely been some episodes where I've been able to unload some stuff, some problems, some whatever. But having people up with us and getting to talk to another person and kind of get to see more than just, the chat answers and what they have to say,
Mhm.
is
Good morning.
really
Morning,
cool.
Ron.
Yes.
Do
Agree,
you-
Ron. We need a Ron Jordan episode for sure. I don't think you've had the pleasure of interacting with Ron Jordan, but I've met him
Mm,
a couple times in person, and
I feel like I have.
he's a
Maybe
special human.
a time ago. I can't
He
remember.
he live streams. He does a lot of stuff. He has a podcast,
We
all
did.
that stuff. So
I'm pretty sure it was sometime last year,
gotcha.
and that's
When I was
just more
sleeping in.
reason to do another one.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So to tie this into today's reading, talking about wealth,
Down to
riches.
the reading.
No matter what your bank account says, we are surrounded by wealth of connection and friends, and the time to kind of reflect on all this. So very grateful, very, very grateful for all that today, for sure.
Yeah, so my take on the reading, January 20th, is basically do what you say, not what you don't do. Dude, I just fucked that one up, man.
Let's try it again. Rich with
Um,
the ability to start over.
yeah. Yeah, it's more about doing what you say instead of telling them what to do. I still don't I don't know the quote. That's the problem. I was trying to like run into it, but I don't know the quote. Do you know it?
Do what I say, but also do what I do.
That works too. Something along that. Need a line of sight. I looked the other day about out Celsius powder. I almost put it in a shopping cart, and then I was like, I'm not gonna go down that train. I don't yeah, do. That's what I said. Anyways, it's more about that, about trying to find ways to show them, not tell them. So instead of telling your kids they need to read and they need to eat healthy and all that stuff, are you actually modeling that? I think, this is a repeat page for this month, but modeling those things in front of them. So for me, it's been a little difficult. I've been wanting my kids to, take part in the stuff that I take part in, but I set all this stuff up in my morning routine. And so while they're sleeping in or while I'm away from them, it's hard for me to show them. So because I have older girls that have access to social media, I feel like my posting and my attaching it to Instagram stories and stuff like that, they do see a little bit of it or a good amount of it. So it's one benefit of social media. That's one benefit of, me having older kids. It's and then my goal right now, I think I wrote that in a couple of journal entries. I'm trying to really curb my addiction to TV and snacking. Like I'll get home, I'll be exhausted. I'll turn on the TV when everybody else has their little iPads on or whatever. And so one of my goals is really trying to recognize that pattern and attack something else. So pick up a book while I'm at home with the rest of them. Get up and do a chore. Um, Work on a project at home. There's always projects at home. Play Arc Raiders instead. I
Oh
don't know
man,
that game,
creators.
but I don't think that's a good idea.
I was doing a little bit of mindless scrolling last night, and I came across. I was on Reddit. I was just reading on Play Arc, and then the game that I used to play a lot was The Division, which is similar play style. Never played Arc, but Division I've played many hours, especially the first one because it takes place in Brooklyn, in New York. And the first time I played it, I'm not going to get into the story. I first started playing it during the pandemic when it was winter and Christmas, and the first one takes place in New York City in Christmas at the height of a pandemic, and
Mhm.
so immersive. I mean, it wasn't
I
like
like
that
those games.
experience, but it was like, wow, I'm playing in Ryan's neighborhood right now. This is really cool, but also really sad. Um, but yeah, so that's my experience of those kinds of games. Way too much to get into, and then every time I start it up again, there's like all these like season passes, upgrades, too many status bars. It's very overwhelming. Um,
Yeah.
so it's I go through spurts of it. Right now, I'm not in gaming mode though. That's more of a break thing.
No, video games were the other thing that like my son always wants to play video games and we as a family can get pretty into them. I think I told you guys like one that the 99 Nights game that we played, I played for 7 hours one day because I just had to beat the whole entire map.
Yeah,
So
I've heard about that game.
gaming gets really addictive to me. So that's definitely on the list of like we're not doing that anymore. So
Yeah,
my son plays these games. A lot of them are very frustrating. Uh and he gets frustrated and I get frustrated in them and I'm like, dude, can we just stop playing this game? Like you like it always ends this way. And those are the easy ones to get out of because they're not fun. Like or they're not good or whatever.
mhm,
But yeah, if I get myself into a good one, like whatever this Arc Raiders is or any of these other games, like I was a Call of Duty person. Like if I get back into that, then it's like then time is lost. So I'm
yeah.
definitely not going there.
I do. So I have two gaming wins from this weekend actually. I'm a big Zelda fan, and we got the Switch,
Okay.
and it was like 2 years ago. I got
Yep.
the I forget the title of it.
Same,
It's
Dan.
it's the Zelda. It's very much like Dynasty Warriors. If you've ever played
Okay.
that, that's also a game I sunk a lot of hours to in the past. But it's a game that the girls can play together. And I
Mm,
finally got them to play a game on a big screen together so they're not staring at little screens. I'm taking it as a win because
yeah.
it's like we hear yelling and screaming from downstairs of them playing together, not like against each other, with each other. And I'm like, thank God I got them on something besides this damn Roblox.
Yeah, we actually last night we actually sat down and all played a card game together, like me and the three kids.
Same.
Well,
So
we only lasted one round. Um, before it was like, I'm out, I won. Wait, you didn't win. We got to go more than one round. Nope, I'm out. Like, but it's fine. And then I played a second like half round with Bentley only until he gets a little fidgety with games. Um, and then he'll just like kind of like splash the pile, and I'm like, all right, you're done. Let's
Yeah.
clean up. Let's get out of here.
Our second win is we had our good friend Ron Meehan and his wife Arlene, who had him over last night, and he taught me and Kira how to play Magic the Gathering, which is a game I've always
Ooh.
wanted to learn how to play because
Okay.
I like the idea. You know, I've always been into like the art and mythology of these card games. Finally got into it. Really enjoyed it. Ron, my friend Ron is like he's like expert. He has like these decks built. He
Ooh.
brought over like these 3 decks that he built himself, and I'm pretty sure this is what he uses to teach people because it's like every move that he coaches us through, it's like perfectly set up. And then I ended up being like ahead. I ended up being ahead in my life points, and then immediately lost after that to Kira. Kira picked it up fast. I
Ooh,
think
yeah.
she got into it enough to play again together. So that was fun. Good.
Yeah, it's crazy when you go deep dive into, I mean, anything in life, but like games, like you could just sit and, I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of Twitch channels dedicated to games all day, every day.
Yeah.
Can I use that? It's a Ron thing. That's catchy. Yep.
It's
It
gotta
is.
go.
Ron's catchy. All right. What else? What else can we show our kids and not tell them?
I do believe that was yesterday's reading, but still important.
No,
But
I'm on the 20th.
what?
Do the things you want. Do the things you want them to do.
No, in the red version, Dom, February 20th is These Are the Richest Kids. Oh,
No,
wait.
we're on January 20th. Dude was a whole month forward. Hey guys, Jason had Monday off, so as a teacher, you know how that kind of like throws you. Today's Jason's Monday.
Oh, well, I
man.
am super prepared for February 20th. Can't wait for that day.
Oh man. It is a Jordan Ron thing.
All
right, dude.
The things you want them to do. Let's restart. Can I fit another half an hour? Sure.
Where's
Dad,
the
do the
we need
reading.
to update this to this sound that says do the right reading.
Jason, wrong page.
There you go.
Yeah.
Have Dee Dee make a Jason Wrong page soundtrack because I need that like right away, Ryan.
No. Dom, continue.
So again, it's more about modeling. Like this is the month of like modeling your behavior. You know, like we're talking New Year's resolutions. It's a new year, new you, like all the kind of stuff that goes on. And instead of like telling your kids do this, do that, like how are you modeling it? How are you, you know, when our kids are connected to their devices and everything like that, they're not necessarily seeing everything you do. We've had a couple of talks here where it's like kids see more than we think they see, and they mirror our behavior way more than we think they do, but they got to see it, right? So sneaking around at night and in the morning and doing all the self-care and the cleaning and the whatever, while it makes sense because that's when you have the free time without them nagging you for a snack or whatever, or fighting or whatever it is that they're doing, needing attention, cute things, funny things. Um, so sometimes we tend to do that, but then how do they see that? They just wake up in the morning and the magic elves of the night have cleaned the whole house and worked out and done all that cool stuff. Well, we have to find some time to show them, lead by example, like the things that we want them to learn and absorb. Kind of the way I took it.
Yeah, and we've talked this multiple times this month,
Ooh,
even
that's
in
a
the
good one,
past.
Ron.
It always it is hard, but that's something that I think if I were to imagine if I were to imagine being a kid of my own, the best that I would want for it to go is it's just baked in, like getting up, being up early, having a space to do your thing or hone your talent or work on something that you want. I'd assume that at some point that becomes something maybe vocalized, where it's like, oh, it's like, this is just what dad did. He was up every morning doing this
Yeah.
thing downstairs with his friend online. It's just, and I'd imagine that hopefully over time, in 10, 20 years, those things just kind of become a memory and maybe a little bit of a guide on how they also decide to conduct their life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, I'm never going to get, wake them up early, be like, hey, come downstairs and join me because we're doing these things. This is the habit I want you to do. They have their own thing. Yesterday we talked about, I'm thinking about Steve and David talking about how we, they let their kids find their own way. That's important too, as well. It's not, I don't want my kids to be a mirror image of me. I want them to find their own way, but I do hope that they pick up on my good habits or productive habits.
Man, we need more Ron Jordan in our life. These 2 points right here, like, podcasts and videos never die. Like, this is why, I try my hardest to back these up. And then at some point, I need to figure out like where the rest of them went, because I agree with this statement. Like, I would love nothing more than to be able to send a link or a Google Drive or whatever it is in the future when my kids have kids and be like, hey, did you know that I kind of like wrote the book on parenting?
Or at least write diligently every day,
or at least that you can still do it wrong.
Yeah.
And it can still work out. Like, it's not easy, but it's worth it, all that kind of stuff. So I love that about our life right now. And then this hit hard right here. Model driving might be the hardest thing. So as you know, like, Bailey and I are, we've experienced some driving together. And there's been a couple of times where I've been like, honey, I just need you to understand that, like, as you're learning to drive, like, I want you to watch mom and dad, but you have to know that, like, the way that we drive comes from 20 plus years of experience. Unlike, like, the things that I see while driving, you won't be able to see as much as I can see. Like, it's an experience thing. Like, I'm clocking every car that passes me. Like, you will learn to do this over time, but you have to be careful. You can't, like, you can't speed through a yellow light until you know how to check that there's no one, like, and it's hard. It's very hard to, like, sit there and be like, oh crap, I should probably just start driving very safe these years. As we all know, that's a tough thing to do.
Yeah. Throw the phone in the glove compartment, stop at the orange lights, use your blinkers.
Yep.
Don't
great grandkids finding videos would be crazy, dude.
Well, I'm assuming at some point some service is going to be like, hey, you want to see what your grandparents were like online 50 years ago?
Wouldn't that be crazy? Like I know Ron's thinking this because he
Sign
has,
up today
has all
for
his podcasts too.
100,000 Bitcoin points.
It would be so weird. Be like, oh, or it's gonna be something where like ages from now, everybody's like, yeah, whose great grandparent didn't have a podcast?
They all did. Or interact with the digital.
Wait, you didn't get a box full of hard drives from your grandparents passed down, saying this is your legacy? Great.
I'm sure there's going to be some kind of VR. I mean, they have data from us is stored everywhere. I'm sure at some point that's going to be the argument of, well, it's our data that you shared with us. So we made an online version of you and we're going to share this out to people who want to talk with.
I feel like this is just the way that between this recording of this and the recording of our chat with Chat GPTs, this is just the way we all become Jarrell to our kids.
Yeah, that's good.
We all become a floating head in a fortress of solitude, talking our kids through anything, our great grandkids through anything.
Yeah. Possibilities. The possibilities of the future for riches or ruin. All right. It's 7:02. I got to roll. Dom,
I love it, Rob.
congratulations on making 500 episodes, even though
did it.
Around for 500.
Confetti cannon. Insert media.
Insert. I'm sure. Is there a congratulations asset here? Let's do a quick check here. Let's see if Ryan added anything. No.
Ryan didn't do anything.
No. I'm sure you're just going to upload
We
it.
have applause.
Call it as
clap, everybody.
just like a like and follow. Like and follow. Here we are.
Oh, thank you guys. See, like and follow. We'll be back here tomorrow. Or do we just stop at 500? Is that one of those things we just like close it out? Just like appreciate you guys. Thanks for following us, making us millionaires with all your subscriptions, watching all those commercials. Yeah, I mean, everybody, thank you so much. I don't know. It feels weird just say thank you all the time, but I really do appreciate the interaction every morning. It does make our days better and brighter. Like we've talked many times, Jason coming on here 5, 6, 7, and then leaving here an 8 plus. Me and David are 9+ club for sure. Yeah, if we could just get Dee Dee in the studio, in the lab, making tracks for us, that would be great.
That's up to you, Ryan. Get her on here. All right. Yeah, you guys make it fun.
Ryan's already left. Like he left a long time ago. Come on, man.
He's making his assets. All right. Everybody, have a great Tuesday. See you later.
See you, buddy.
What's up, bitches? What's up? Wake up. It's